Start 2 projects for free, and let's build daily interaction number 3. Hey, what's up everyone? John with WebDev for you, and welcome to the Daily Interaction series, where every weekday we build a new interaction or animation in Webflow. Today we're going to build an image slice reveal effect on load. So here when I click refresh, we have this image revealing and these slices are coming down. So it's a really interesting effect. It can make for a really nice kind of homepage intro, or you could have it, have it occur on scroll and have this nice effect occur. All right, looks good. To view more daily interactions and premium content, visit webdevforyou.com. Also, be sure to subscribe below to receive a notification every time there is a new daily interaction. Okay, so here I have a blank Webflow project, and we'll start with the daily interaction class naming convention. So it's d-the daily interaction number. So today is 3, and then the element. So every element on the site will have a d-3 in front of it, and this is for consistency purposes, and so that we know we're working with daily interaction number 3. All right, then the first thing I'll do here is I'll add a section. Let me backtrack a bit. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add the image with the slices in it, and then we're gonna add the interaction afterwards. So here the first thing I'll do is I'll add an element, I'll add a section, and I'll give this the class name d-3 section. I'll set the height to 100 VH, so it spans the full height of the viewport, and it will be the full width as well. Then I'll scroll down to background. I'll set the background color to black, and then I'll scroll up to display setting, set it to flex, and set it to horizontal, justify center, and align center. So anything I place within this section will be in the center. So now I'll add another element. I'll add a div block, and I'll give this the class name d-3 image wrapper. So we're going to place the slices inside of this wrapper, and then we're going to place the images inside of each slice wrapper. So for this image wrapper, I want to set a width and a height. So this is going to be the size of the image. So I'm going to say 400 by 500. You can set this to any size you'd like. I'm just making it this size so it's easy for us to see as I'm building it. So there's the width and height. I'm going to give it a display setting of flex and set it to justify start and align stretch. So any children elements of this wrapper will stretch the entire height of the wrapper. Now I can add the slices. So here I'll add an element, I'll add a div block, and as we can see, it stretches the height of the wrapper. So I'll give it the class name d-3 image slice wrapper. Okay, so this is going to be a wrapper as well because we're going to place the image inside of this wrapper. So for the slice wrapper, I want to give it a flex item property of expand. So because the parent element, the wrapper, has a display setting of flex, this slice wrapper is a flex item, and we can set it to expand to fill the entire parent element. Okay, and this will be a bit more clear as we go along. I'm going to copy and paste this, we wanted to set it to expand so it fills the entire parent element. And also for the slice, I want to set it to an overflow of hidden so we don't see anything outside of it. And this is going to be really important when we add the effect because we're going to have the image go out of, kind of move beyond the slice wrapper, but it's not going to be visible because we set an overflow of hidden. Then I want to set the position to relative. And the reason for this is because we're going to have an absolute positioned div inside of the slice, and I want it to be relative to this wrapper and not relative to some other parent element. So by setting it to relative, anything inside of it will be relative to it. All right, so those are the three properties: expand, overflow hidden, and relative for the slice wrapper. All right, so now I want to copy and paste this 5 times. You can have excuse me, as many slices as you'd like. For this, I'm going to set it to 5 slices. So here I'm going to hit Command C to copy and then Command V to paste until I have 5 slices. So notice what happened here. Because they're all set to expand, they're set to fill the available space. So by copying and pasting, we now have 5 slices and they're all the same width. All right, so that's the power of being able to use Flexbox and Webflow. It's pretty amazing the things you can do with Flexbox, and this is just one example. So by setting it to expand and then copying and pasting, we now have 5 equal width slices here. All right, so now I'll click on the first image slice and I'll add a div block. So I'll add an element, I'll add a div block, and I'll name this D-3 image. So this is the div block that's going to hold the image. So for this, I'm going to set it to a position of absolute and set it to full. So absolute and full. And then I'm going to give it a width of 500%. So this is where it gets a bit interesting. So each slice is 100%. And so that would be 5 slices would be 500%. And I want the image to expand the entire width of the wrapper. So what we're going to do, each image is going to be 500% in width, and then we're going to offset each slice a certain amount to have it complete the image. So this will be a bit more clear when I start adding the image. So here for D-3 image, I'll go to the background and I'll add a background image. Then I'll choose an image. And here I've already uploaded a few images to Webflow, so I'll select this gorilla here, and I'll set it to a background size of cover, position it in the center, and I don't need it to be tiled, so I'll say none for tile. All right, looks good. So that's it for the image. So we set it to a position of absolute, full, gave it a width of 500%, and added a background image. So now I'll go to the navigator, and I'll copy this image to each slice. So here I'll hit Command C to copy, then go to each slice and just paste right in there. So initially, as you're pasting, it looks like the slice is a bit smaller, but when you add the image to all the slices, they all become the correct width here. All right, so now that we have all the images, we notice that they're all in the same position. So we have the start of the image, and it's not really the complete image. So what we want to do is move each image to the left a certain percentage. So for the second image, I'm going to move it to the left 100%, so it starts flush on the left. So each image is going to start on the left. So here I'll select the second D-3 image, go into styles, then for the position, I'll position it negative 100%. Or actually, before we do that, almost kind of overlooked that. We want to, let me select the second image again. Yeah, right over here. And it moved it a bit, so let me set it back to 0. Okay. So yeah, let me select the second image. And the first thing we do before we change any offset, we want to give it a combo class. So we can assign individual properties to this specific image. So for this, I'll enter in 2 for the combo class. And now I can go down to the position and position it negative 100% from the left. Okay, so this is moving, because that image started 100% from the left already, we want to set it to negative 100%, so it starts at the beginning. So the second image, or the third image here, I'll select it. This one is 200% from the right. So here I'll give it a combo class, I'll say 3. And I'll position it negative 200% from the left. So it moves the image to that beginning spot. So as you can see, we're completing the image, but we still have individual slices. So I'll select the fourth, go to the fourth image, and I'll enter in 4. And here I'll go down to the offset from the left, and I'll say negative 300% because it's set to 300% 300% from the right, so I'll enter in negative 300% to move it to the beginning. All right, and then the fifth, so 5, and for this one, it'll be negative 400% from the left. And perfect. So there we have the image, the completed image. It just looks like one image, but it's actually 5 individual slices. So now we can add the interaction. So here I'll go to the interactions. It's this lightning bolt symbol here in the upper right. And it's going to be an onload animation. So here for the page trigger, I'll click the plus symbol and I'll select page load. So here we can do when page starts loading or when page finishes loading. I like to do when page finishes loading. It's just a personal preference. I like the idea of having the site load first and then the animation kick in, and not having both the animation and the site loading at the same time. It's just a personal preference, but you could do it when the page starts loading as well. So here, when page finishes loading, I'll start an animation. And for timed animations, I'll click the plus to add a new timed animation, and I'll call this D-4 or D-3 page load. All right, and I'll hit enter. And what I want to do for this interaction or animation is start all the slices at the top, so negative 100% on the y-axis, and then I'm going to bring them down individually one at a time. So here for the timed action, the first thing I'll do is select the first image. Then I'll go into the interactions. So I selected it in the navigator. I'll add a new timed action and I'll say move, because we want to move it up on the y-axis. So right down here, we can move it on X, Y, or Z. And yeah, let me delete that. We can move it on X, Y, or Z. I want to move it on the Y. So here, I'm going to enter in negative 100% to move it up all the way so it's not visible. And I want that to be the initial state so we don't see it initially. So here for timing, I'm going to select set as initial state. All right, so that's where it will start initially. And then here I'm going to, we could repeat that process, or I can just right click, duplicate, because it's the same property for all 5 slices. Then I can right click and select change target, go back into the navigator and select the second image. So not sure what happened there. I think I clicked twice, so let me go back into the interaction. All right, so yeah, let me right click. Let me delete that again because I think I just clicked a few times. So right click, duplicate, right click, change target, and I'll select the second image. Perfect. So you'll notice they will all start moving up. So I'll right click, duplicate, right click, change target, select the third image, right click, duplicate, right click, change target, and I'll select the fourth image. I'll right click, duplicate, right click, change target, and I'll select the fifth image. Okay, so the other thing we want to do here is move all of them move them on top of each other. So the second one I'll move on top of the first so that they all become the initial state. So I'm just dragging and dropping on top of each other. So if we click on any of them, they all have the initial state checked. So if I preview, we don't see anything initially, and that's exactly what we want. And now we want to move each slice individually, one by one. So here I'll go back into the interaction, and because it's in the timed action, I can select each image individually. I don't have to go back into the navigator because it's already here. So here I'll select the first image, I'll add a new timed action, and I'll say move. And I'll move it back to 0%, which is its original position. So 0%. I'll add an easing of ease out expo. Again, this is a personal preference. You can set it to any easing you'd like. And then for the duration, I'll set it 0.5 is okay for the duration. And again, we can do the same thing we did for the previous. We can right click, duplicate, right click, change target, and I'll select the second image. So I'll right click, duplicate, right click, change target, and I'll select the third image. And then right click, duplicate, right click, change target, and I'll select the fourth image. And again, right click, duplicate, right click, change target, and the 5th image. All right, and so now if I preview, we have the slice reveal effect. So this is okay. I would want it to be a bit smoother and a bit quicker. So one thing I like to play with is the delay. So what I can do is start them all at the same time and then just add a delay to each of them. So for this, what I'll do to have them start at the same time is I'll just click, hold, and drag each of them on top of each other. So they all start at the same time. So now when I preview, it's just one image coming down. So what I can do is add a delay to each of them. So one thing I've learned through experience is I like to add the farthest delay, or the delay with the longest time. I like to add that first and then kind of go backwards. So kind of to explain this a bit better, I'm going to add a 0.2 second delay between each slice. So this is going to be 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8, and 1. So I'm going to start at 1 because what Webflow does when you're rearranging elements is if I add a 0.2 delay to the first image, it'll move it all the way down, or it will reorder it within the timed action. And because they all have the same class name d-3 image, I'd get confused as to which element is which, or which slice is which, and it would just kind of be a mess. So I'll start at the bottom so all the images stay in place. So here for the last one, for the delay, I know it's going to be 1, so I'll enter in 1, and then I'll just go backwards. So I'll say for the fourth one, I'll say 0.8, and notice they all stay in the same place. And then for the third one, I'll say 0.6. The second one, I'll say 0.4. Yeah, 0.4. And the first one, I'll say 0.2. Okay, so there, by starting at the bottom first and then going up, all the images stayed in their place within the timed actions here. So now if I preview, we have a smoother reveal and the slices are a bit quicker. All right, so that's how you create an image slice reveal effect in Webflow. Looks good. Okay, so one more thing I'd like to cover, and I think it's kind of a cool kind of concept or idea to grasp, is changing the image for the slice. So I'll go back into the navigator, I'll select the first d-3 image, and I'll change the image. So we can easily change the image because all of the other images with the combo class, they're inheriting the image from this first d-3 image. So I just want to select the class without a combo class, or the element without a combo class, and I can change the image easily. So here I'll go, I have d-3 image selected. I'll go to the image, I'll choose the image, and then I'll replace the image here. And here I have an image of a bear. So as you can see, it changed the image for all the slices because each slice is inheriting the image from the d-3 image class. So now I'll preview and we have the bear revealing. All right, looks good. And then I'll do one more, I'll do another image. So let me select the image, d-3 image. I'll go to the background image, replace image, and we'll do the elephant. And there we have the elephant with the reveal effect. Looks good. All right, so I'll do one more. I'll do the one that's in the demo so we can end off with that image. And there we go. So I'll preview and looks good. All right, perfect. So that is how we create an image slice reveal effect on load in Webflow. All right, let me just close it here. Yeah, looks good. All right, looks good. So that is it for daily interaction number 3. If you have any questions about this or any questions about anything I went over, you can leave it in the comment section below and I'd be happy to discuss or answer any questions. That's it for this daily interaction. To view more daily interactions and premium content, visit webdevforyou.com. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next daily interaction.